Good morning, good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. We'll talk about reminders. Reminders are everywhere, you know, whether or not you're looking for them or not, they are everywhere. The minute you ask for something, you'll get a reminder for it in little subtle ways. In fact, sometimes you don't even have to ask. Sometimes when you just think it, when you think, like when you think about calling somebody and then somebody mentions them in conversation, you'll be like, oh yeah, I meant to call them. You know what I'm saying? Like reminders are everywhere. And if you pay attention, they're there to guide you on what to do because you already wanted to do that. You got it? You already wanted to do that. It's like being on a road. You're on a road, like on a highway, like going on a trip somewhere, going out of state, whatever. All these little reminders are on the road. I know I've talked about this before, but I'm reminding you. You have these markers. There's a mile marker there. There's signs to tell you where the food is, where to get gas, where if you're tired, there's a rest area, or if you're really tired, there's a lodging, hotels and things of that nature. There's miles that tell you how much further to this city, how much further to that. Now, all these reminders everywhere. And the thing about it is, whether or not you're looking for them, they are always there, just like when you're on the road. Notice you don't really pay attention to them like that. But the minute you get focused on what your intention is, what you want, when you want food, then you really start paying attention to the sign that says what food is there. Other than that, you're not really paying attention to it like that. So it's just the same when it comes to everything else. The reminders are there to remind you what you want, what you said you wanted, what you asked for. They're there for that sole purpose. And if you pay attention, they're there. They don't leave. Notice, it's like when you get off the road. When you get off the road, those signs are still there. Those reminders, they're still there. That's why I said they're going to be there no matter what. They are always around. It's just that once you start to think about it and lock into what you want with full intention, like I need to get off and get gas, then you start paying attention to the signs that tell you where gas is. That's the way that goes. The signs are always there. I talk always about paying attention to the signs because we all have them. And they're there to remind you what it is you said you wanted, what it is you asked for. So you have to be conscious of what the reminders are. You got it? Be conscious of it. It's like the word reminder. If you break it down into sections, it talks about which is the prefix, which means again, do it again. The mind, which is like the element of a person that allows you to think and to feel and remember, to be conscious. So it's to do that again. And the suffix er is it's like it's like the reinforcement of what you're describing, like laborer, decant read write it kind of reinforces what that noun is. So it's to reinforce you to do what you do, think, feel, be conscious, be aware. And the re part is again, do all of that again. That's what reminders are, as a breakdown. It's a really interesting word. I like it. It's a great word. And more importantly, the things that are reminders are even greater because they are there to remind you to do what it is you said. Do what you asked that you said you wanted. And they are everywhere. Even when you're not paying attention, the reminders are there. So it's best of you to remember what you asked for, remember what you said you wanted, and to start paying attention to these signs because these signs are there to remind you that, hey, you said you wanted to do this. Because the thing is, when you ask for something, especially when you speak it out there in the universe, it all conspires together to bring you what you want. And you may not necessarily agree with how it comes. That's not that doesn't have anything to do with you. This is what you asked for, and this is what you got to go through to get there. So if you're willing, here's a reminder for that. Here's the situation for that to get you there. So you have to be very conscious and cognizant of what these signs are because they are there to act as reminders for you for what you said you wanted. You got it? When you're on the road, driving down that highway, you said you wanted gas. There's a sign for it right there. Do you want Shell? Do you want the BP? Do you want the Amico? Whatever, The signs that said for the food. You said you wanted food, here it is. Whether you choose to pay attention to that sign and get off is completely up to you. But it does not change the fact that that reminder was there. And oftentimes we will miss them. We will miss the signs. We'll miss the reminder. I have reminders on my phone. If you have an iPhone, there's a section for notes and reminders and things like that. And they come up all the time. I have them. They come up all the time. And sometimes you pay attention to them and sometimes you don't. No different than when you're on that long road going out of state, out of the city. We have to pay more attention to the signs. We have to constantly remember that reminders are always there. And they're there to remind you what you said you wanted. So pay attention to the signs and remember what you said you wanted, because the reminders are always there. Whether you pay attention to them or not is completely up to you. I suggest you open your eyes and pay more attention so that you can do and get exactly what you wanted and what you asked for. So Motivation Monday, man. Go be dope.